Hey folks, today's video is brought to you by our pals at Carl Friedrich, and they've got this dope new front pocket carry-on to share with you. I have to travel 4 different round-trip flights the month of September. That's more flying than I have done in 18 months. And over the last 18 months, the Carl Friedrich carry-on I've been talking about has been my go-to. But they've listened to your feedback and made it even better. It's still got the rigid outer shell. It's still got the zipperless design, but they have added the front pocket. The front pocket allows you to replace your backpack, right? So I'd have the Carl Friedrich carry-on, but I'd have my laptop, my headphones, my chargers, the stuff I needed to access in the airport and on the plane in a backpack. Now, with this front pocket, with pockets inside it, that eliminates my need for a backpack. It holds the laptop, it holds the charger, it holds the headphones, it holds the pens, the passports, the wallet, the whole deal. If you hit the link in the video description, check it out for yourself, so when you're hitting the road, you got one less thing over your shoulder. Hello everybody, welcome to the Rauher Flats off-road area. This is the trail where we test pretty much every off-road vehicle we've got. Zach and I made a video a few days ago driving the new 2022, 22. Ooh. I think it's a 22. 22 Bronco 2-door on the tarmac. Mm-hmm. We were impressed, actually.
Absolutely.
It was really well-mannered on the road, but being a Bronco, you have to hit the trail as well. This may get repetitive, there's 6 versions of the Bronco.
Yes.
Not to mention 2-door versus 4-door, soft door versus hardtop.
Not counting the first edition.
Right. So the 3, there's 4 kind of road-oriented ones that start at a low kind of stripper version and work their way up. And this is the Outer Banks, which is sort of the highest end of the road-oriented Broncos.
This is like the luxury town runabout Bronco.
Right, heated seats, radar cruise, the cameras all around, the upgraded
tires,
stereo, this pleather that actually makes my back really sweat because it's not it's not perforated. Yeah, it's not great leather actually. And then this one has the V6 twin turbo, 300 horsepower, 330 horsepower, 415 pounds of torque. 10-speed automatic, and as we learned on the road, the automatic is tuned very well with this powertrain.
Yes.
10 doesn't really feel like too many gears. We took the doors off, we took the roof off over the weekend. 2 people, you need 2 people because the doors, I could carry a door around by myself, it's probably like 60 pounds, but like, you need 2 people to line it up right. Yeah,
the hinge, the way you have to find it, I mean, with the 2 of us, you were spotting where it goes, and I was just holding one end of it. It's really challenging by yourself.
Yeah, I wouldn't try it by yourself. But with 2 people, 5 minutes off, 10 minutes on.
Yeah.
That's how much it took. And one 13mm socket that actually they give you in this lovely little toolkit that comes in the glove box. This one has a 17-inch wheels, with 225/70 tires. So we're measuring in millimeters still, not inches. Okay, but it doesn't mean it has no off-road capability. You've got selectable 4-wheel drive with low and high. On the fly, I moved from 2 to 4 while driving. You don't have to come to a stop. And then you've got your GOAT modes. Goes over any terrain.
Any terrain, right.
So depending on which version you get either 5 or 7 modes.
5, 6, or 7, depending. Like in this, because this has the upgraded 4-wheel drive system, you get the 4 auto setting, whereas the lower one does not have a 4 auto setting.
And so we're going to go to mud ruts because that's the closest to what we've got. There's also slippery, which is like ice and snow, sand, which is for deep sand, and then a normal and a sport and an eco mode for tarmac driving.
Right. We don't have the rock crawl mode, which the Sasquatch and other packages do come with.
Yeah, which allows you to also decouple the sway bars, which this does not have.
Yeah, well, there's the modes, and then there's also the next level, which is the electronically decoupling sway bar, which is very cool because you can decouple it while the car is leaned over.
I've only seen that in the Urus. The Lambo Urus is the only other car I've seen that in.
That has that?
Yeah, it does.
Oh my god.
Because you know why? Because the fucking Habibis, dude.
Because it's for the 2 people that are going to offer
the 2 people in Saudi.
Yeah.
All right, so this trail, you've seen it before. It is a challenging trail for street-oriented SUVs. Dedicated off-roaders probably would not find it that difficult. We like this trail because it represents to us probably the hardest thing anybody would try to do in a stock truck. I mean, representatively, right?
Yeah, so a stock truck like this, I think if you have a stock Rubicon, you know, if you're a hardcore off-roader and that's your starting point, you might try with things that are more difficult. But we've now driven this G-Wagon, Land Cruiser, Defenders,
LR3s,
like
Velar. The Velar, I think, was, even though it had small wheels and air suspension, that was like the most crossover-y thing we've tried to drive up this trail. Everything else.
I think what this trail makes you do is you still have to pay attention to where your tires are. You still have to pay attention to your approach and breakover in some places, because you could damage even a Rubicon or something like this. If you went the wrong direction, you could get stuck for a little bit, or you could damage a panel.
I damaged the Land Cruiser doing this. I dented the exhaust on the Land Cruiser doing this trail. And we're coming to what I think is actually the most difficult part of the trail. This first obstacle is really what separates a lot of trucks from each other. There's a really hard, challenging section right here.
Oh, this looks steeper
and
I remember.
It progressively gets gnarlier and gnarlier as it gets rutted out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's gotten bad.
Oh, it has. Oh, the Subaru is not making this.
There's no way the Subaru will make it up that.
Oh, man.
So I'm just going to mat it. And Bronco, though, I mean, that made incredibly light work of that obstacle.
And there were a couple of really deep cuts between the rock there.
Right.
I felt a lot less than I thought I would. I think one wheel floated over that chasm, I think.
That was great for this. That's impressive. I don't think the Outback will do it, though.
100%. Nope, we're not. We arrived here with an Outback Wilderness that we thought we could try that on. I think tires and water have worn that away a little bit more.
Maybe not.
Wow.
This, when you put it in the mud ruts mode, it automatically locks the rear diff. So you can do it independently on a button right here, or the mode will choose the appropriate setting for your all-wheel drive system and your differential, which is good. Makes it easy.
Absolutely. Some of the higher tiered off-road Broncos, you can get the locking front differential, locking center differential, and then also that disconnecting sway bar. Those would fill the two buttons right here.
So I'm going to pick a tougher line because, I mean, based on how well it did that obstacle, I don't need to tiptoe really up the trail.
Right, it's the Bronco. We got the goat mode.
One thing we're going to do today that is a little different than we normally do is we're going to do half the trail, turn around, and go down. We always show going up the trail. We very rarely show going down the trail. Above a certain point, the trail is no longer challenging. So we're going to drive the hardest parts, and then we're going to turn around and go down.
Yeah, and then we can test the hill descent as well.
I don't think it has hill descent control, though. I haven't found a button. Is there a button that I've missed for hill descent control?
I don't know. We'll find out when we turn around. I was in so many of these things that I can't really tell them apart.
Well, that's the challenging thing about a Bronco, right? It's like you didn't review a Bronco. It's like, which one did you review?
Yeah, because there's 3.
So many different ones.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up what looks like the toughest part of this trail, right up the center.
Wow. So
very easy, steady throttle. Wow, this is really
very bumpy. This looks like a bunch of puff pastries on a pan, and we're just kind of bouncing over each rock.
I will say that even though in the on-road video we commented at how great the ride was, the very second I hit the dirt, my first thought was, this ride's terrible. There's different suspensions you can get, right? There's a couple of different options, and this is the basic one. It's bumpy off-road.
Yeah, some of the, I guess, sportiness is a bit of a reach, but like.
Wow, here I'm going to pick a tough line.
Yeah, that's a big.
It's okay.
Big dip on the
left. Check the departure angles. There's a. Oh,
wow,
bro, that was a wheel in the air.
For having this, what feels like a stiffer, more road-oriented suspension here. Yes, it was bumpy if we were going any kind of speed over the dirt road, but in this stuff, I think you can feel where the tire is because of that stiff connection. So does it make wheel placement easier?
No. I wish it was a little smoother. It's a little bumpy. If I was really going to do this, I would spring for the actual suspension.
Now, get the upgraded Bilstiens.
Let's talk about this camera, though. One of the most intimidating parts of off-roading, especially for like newer folks, is when you've got when you're just looking at the sky.
Yeah.
You're going up a trail, it's peaking, and you're looking at the sky, and you go, I don't know where to turn the wheel. I don't know what's there. We got this 12-inch LCD screen is a beautiful, really high-res front camera. It looks actually, the resolution looks to be at least as good as the GoPros that you're using.
Yeah, it really does.
Really bright, and the camera angle is fantastic. So as we do these breakovers and we're staring at the sky, all I got to do is peek down at the camera, and I know exactly where to place the wheel.
And it's nice that it stays up while we're doing this. A lot of the front-facing cameras turn off after like 5 miles an hour or something.
I just picked the hardest side. What do you think? You want to go to the right? The right looks tough.
Yeah.
The right looks where I got.
Narrow.
Isn't the right where I got the Land Cruiser stuck?
It is.
Yeah.
And there was a lot more dirt on these rocks when you did it in the Land Cruiser, I think.
Yeah, there was a little dustier.
So we have aggressive. Wait, I should film this.
I should definitely.
Oh.
Do it.
What is our?
Whoa!
What is our?
Oh, that was.
What's our lean? Look at our off-road gauge.
Oh, that was like 17, 18.
Now
we were just like 30, by the way.
Wow,
for a
that
second.
is a deep trough.
I'm not going to try to drive through that. That's really deep.
That was okay. So how are you finding the turbo engine as you're going from stop to moving?
I'm not really finding it to be an issue. I mean, this thing makes a whole bunch of torque at a very low RPM. I mean, if peak torque starts at like 2,000 RPM. So, and I'm never totally taking my foot off the throttle, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just going from like 5% to 10% to 5% to 10%. So because I'm always keeping a little load on it, there's enough to keep it ready for me, you know? So here's the breakover. Now I'm going to look at the camera because I can't see a thing. Is it me, or has this trail gotten more rutted and gnarly?
Absolutely, man.
This trail's gotten harder.
I'm seeing way more rock than we have in the past.
And I have the confidence to pick tough lines. I mean, I really don't have to be all that selective except avoiding the very biggest holes.
It's kind of like, you know how we say if you drive a good sports car for like 100 feet, you know that it's a good sports car?
Yeah.
If we do that first hill with the hole and everything, and it sorts it out pretty well, you kind of know what it can handle.
Yeah, I'm going to go up a wall here. I'm just going to drive up this wall. This is very vertical. Looking at the sky. I mean, it's real easy.
And I mean, I've been really impressed, even when you're stopped, so your RPM is 800 idling.
Yeah.
You come off the brake and go to the gas. Between the hill hold, the electronics and everything, it does such a good job of getting you moving without feeling that turbo surge or having to wait for it.
Yeah.
That it makes it, as easy to drive up on off-road trail as, an NA motor would, short of a V8. I think they did a really good job with it.
I'm gonna drive up that wall.
Yeah.
This is a rock wall right here. It's only about 3 feet, but it's a rock wall.
Sky. Yeah.
Now this flat part up here, this looks like victory. So I'm going to use this mode where I press this button, and it's going to lock my inside rear wheel to tighten my turning radius. Right? So I'm going to crank this over. You feel it?
Yeah.
You feel it? Look at that!
It drags.
Look at this, it's dragging. Bro, turning radius test approved.
I mean, this already has a good one too. Because
it already has a great one.
Yeah.
Because it's short wheelbase.
Right.
Well, now, so I think that, that we've just done the hardest part of the trail. There's no question that we would make it the rest of the way. But we've never done this trail down, ever.
We always take the victory lap down on the fire road.
Right, which means it's Clapman's turn to drive. And there's a first time for everything.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right, ready?
Yes.
We are still in mud ruts, and the diff is locked.
Got it. I think you're correct. We do not seem to have hill descent control in this car.
Yeah, which means your right foot.
Which means just my foot.
I mean, I don't see how this could be a problem.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty simple. I'm impressed with these tires. I mean, they're decent off-road tires, but they're not super aggressive, KOs or anything similar. But
here's what we could do though. Rather than hill descent controls, we could put it in low and put it in first gear. So if we wanna select low, and we might have to stop for low. I don't know if we do or not. Oh, shift to neutral. 4x4 shift in progress. Okay, 4 low.
All right, 4 low. Let's go to 1.
All right, so we didn't need low range to get up this trail. The 10-speed gearbox was like well geared enough, right? And we had plenty of torque, right? But
so this is the pace we're going now. My feet off the pedals.
Well, that's hill descent control, basically, right?
Yeah,
we have an engine brake.
Right.
We have a very effective engine braking system that we can use. We can have that 415 pounds of torque work as a brake.
Right. Right now, the engine's at 1,600 RPMs, and we are going 3 miles an hour.
I don't know if the gauge can be entirely trusted, the RPM, the tachometer, necessarily. It's digital, we don't necessarily know. But what I found interesting about it, just driving it around, this thing idles at 500.
Wow.
It's like a really
That
low.
seems crazy low.
I don't know if the gauge lies to me and is just telling me it's 500 when really it's like 750 or 800 or something. I don't know why it would, but you gonna go right for the rut?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down the middle of the rut. Let's see,
Do we have any low cameras that we're gonna crunch? No, right? Okay, cool.
But I was giving it gas. We were at 3,600 RPM, still going 5 miles per hour, that's what 4-load does. I mean,
yeah.
It's a huge reduction gear, and that coupled with being in first out of 10, you really don't need the hill descent control. I mean, it's nice to have, but you won't miss it.
With gearing and a competent brake pedal,
yes.
Not someone who's a genius, not some super special off-roader who works for Land Rover full-time, just someone with a steady brake pedal and a low range, you can replicate the software benefits of hill descent control pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm going to try this harder line.
Okay.
Let me see what the front tire does if it slips. Okay, so the front tire's in the air. I thought the back slide
there we go.
A little bit.
Hey, seesaw. Something about the seesaw when you're going downhill seems like a little sketchier,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it could get away from you.
People in other off-road videos we've done have been like, I'm directing you too much on where to go. So I'm gonna try to not do that this time.
We can die together. That's fine.
I thought I was being helpful. I didn't know I was backseat driving. But if you feel like I was backseat driving, I will happily just let you pick a line and do it.
I didn't feel that way, but you've done this trail a lot. I think I am capable of figuring it out and not killing us.
This trail really does change a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, last time I come up here with that Land Cruiser, it was soft, sandy.
Yep.
This is really rocky and rutted out.
Looking at our angle 17.6. Wow. Yeah, front lift wheel off the ground again. So when I reviewed this car on Rated, and what I noticed there, we had the car with the Sasquatch package, and it allows you to do that one pedal driving.
Right.
So, and it's very, very good with modern electronics, sensors in all the wheels, etc., etc. They can take this traction control technology and use it for off-roading. And we were going down a rocky slope that was covered in water. And
go to the middle.
We didn't even have to touch the pedals. Like, it just handled it all for us. So
this is going to be challenging.
That's helpful if you're really new. It's a safety net, and I think some people will appreciate it. But right now, we're not slipping at all. The brake pedal has good feedback. I don't feel like there's a bunch of dead spots dead room at the top. I feel like I'm able to modulate it really, really easily. And
if you let off, will you come to like a stop pretty much?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Well, let's find out what happens when I come off the pedal, but I'm going to wait till we're settled there. So if I'm going to go full off, so now we're going 2 miles an hour.
This is fine.
3.
All right. So you will accelerate
4,
a bit. Yeah, okay.
But considering the slope we're on, it only went up 3 miles per hour.
Yeah, this is
going
steep.
Full off. So,
I bet you can go right across that hole in the middle there.
Yeah, but straddle it for sure. And I can drop the front right.
Isn't this where I really lifted a wheel up in the air before?
You can see your
traction. Oh, there we go. The ass end just did a little donkey kick.
Now,
here's the seesaw. Oh, that's a seesaw. 20 degrees. Yeah.
20 degrees of lean, which is about 19 more than I ever feel comfortable with. Wow.
But very easy.
Very easy.
I mean, I feel totally comfortable as a passenger that like nothing bad is going to happen.
Well, at least one of us does. Yeah, no, this is very impressive. And I like the visibility I have. I really like those mounts they have on the fenders that help you, almost like sight lines, tell you where the tires are going.
I like to imagine those as helicopter hooks. You know what I mean? Like on the Hummer, those are helicopter hooks.
Yes.
On the Hummer, those are for dropping them things out of airplanes.
On this, they are only rated to like 150 pounds each, I think.
They're rated to GoPro.
Yeah.
The GoPro mount.
They're meant for like if you strap a kayak to the top, you can tie it to that. But man, this thing, it's
real
doing
easy.
a very good job.
And I do have to say this trail, it's about the same level of intimidatingness going down as it is going up, I think. I'll be interested to see what the very bottom hole is like. Do you want to go second?
I want to go...
Just to drive?
I was going to see what it was like going back to normal 4. Just see how much more speed we have.
I feel like you just have to use the brakes a lot more.
Probably. All right, let's go up here. We'll go up a couple gears. We'll go to 3rd.
Oh, whoa, hey. They just like donkey kicked a little bit there.
4 low 3rd. Yeah, it's an hour going 12 miles an hour.
This engine, it was when they first put it in the F-150, it's 2.7. No, people were like, oh, well, it's not the 3.5, so whatever. But actually, it was a very nice engine.
It was. We found it to be very useful in that
F-150
truck.
was great. Yeah,
it's quick. It's strong.
And in this little thing, I mean, I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what this thing weighs, but it's in this little thing. It actually feels. It's pretty, peppy is the word, right? It's not like this thing is like super fast, but even at highway speeds, if you're going 60 and you stomp the pedal, you'll get to 90 at a totally acceptable pace.
Yeah, over 300 horsepower, over 400 pound-feet of torque. I know that a lot of people are going to say like Jeep 392 or it's not a V8 like the old Bronco,
17
whatever.
miles a gallon. The 392 is not returning 17 miles a gallon in a Wrangler.
No,
I'm sorry.
Hopefully, people are taking these on long trips to faraway places.
Oh, don't be a bitch. Take the hard line.
Fuel economy matters.
I know. I just said I wasn't going to tell you where to go, but now I'm telling you to take the harder line.
It lasted 1 minute.
Well, last time I was trying to tell you how to make it easier. Now I'm trying to tell you how to make it harder. Oh, there's a big hole right in front of us. You can go left though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go left of it.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Go. No, you're fine. Go. You're good. Yeah, I promise you're good. I promise.
The grab handle's right there.
We're about these grab handles. I love, especially going down. Look at this. See, now my hands are really in the right position. 26. Woo!
That
29, 30. That was 30.
That's the limit for me. You've all been great. Good night.
Clapman taps out at 30.
Jeez.
That was awesome.
That was crazy.
Did that feel sketchy to you?
Only because I've never looked at the ground that much over the hood of the car. But, I mean, the car felt stable.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was gripped up fine.
It wasn't going to continue. It wasn't going to roll over and roll down the hill.
No, it was. You just accelerate into that little dip.
Yeah. Yeah.
But wow, that was...
We got a little seesaw going there, though.
That was aggressive seesaw.
Yeah.
That was the hobby horse outside.
You know what would not make that? An Outback Wilderness.
No. I think we're going to abort on that plan. we were optimistic about, I think, the trail's condition and the Outback's ability. You know what's funny? That car has more ground clearance, though, than a G63 AMG.
Because of the exhaust pipe.
Yeah,
because they measure from the lowest point.
Oh, okay.
And the G63 has the side exhaust, which takes like 4.5 inches out of the ground clearance.
Okay.
All right. Go Bronco.
Okay.
Oh, we still in first there? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad we were in first for that one.
I mean, to have, to have this much control, right? To have, when you're off-roading, 10 gears plus a transfer case.
Yeah.
I mean, that might as well be infinite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? True. Like, you almost, and I mean almost, don't need a low range. Actually, that's not true. Why did I just say that?
We definitely need the low range. That helped us a lot right there. I think, but I think it tells me, like, fancy hill descent control is great, but you don't need it if you have all those ratios, which I know everyone watching who has been off-roading for a long time is going, yeah, we know that's what 4-low is for. But today, so many things come with complicated electronics that people out there shopping might think they need that, and you don't.
This is a very capable little truck. I mean, even with the street tires, we didn't air down.
No, not at all.
We made no preparation at all besides just driving here and putting the doors back on.
Yeah, doesn't have the good Bilstiens, doesn't have the big tires or anything like that.
That's not to say that if I was going to do this kind of stuff all the time, I wouldn't spring for that stuff. You know what? Do you want a spotter?
Sure.
Do you think
we've never gone down this, have we?
We've never gone down it, and it might be.
It might be a wise idea. I mean, you remember the first time you jumped off a high dive? Probably nervous.
Perfect. Hold that line. Perfect.
The Ferris says straight, staying straight.
Now look, it's gonna move a little bit into here, okay?
Got it. keeping my thumbs out.
There. Yep. Roll it out. You're fine.
This grip is really impressive considering these tires.
It's okay.
Huh?
So,
That's only.
Yeah, you got the ass end here, about here right now.
That's only 25 degrees, man.
Roll it
Nothing.
out. You're fine.
26.
Roll it out.
Three-wheel motion.
Wow.
Yo, check my three-wheel motion.
That was like a really consistently excellent three-wheel motion, and that's it. That was the obstacle.
Dr. Dre has nothing on me.
I'm not entirely sure you needed the spotter, but I'm glad I got out and
Yeah,
looked.
you know what? I think we know to stay left there, but you never know. You never know.
Well, there's about a foot where it seemed a little sketch.
Yeah,
and then
and for people, I know that it's hard to see on this, but to the right, there's a hole that you could fit a Fiat 500 in.
Yep, easily. It's enormous. It's an enormous hole.
That's when you need the 35.
If you slide into it, you've got problems.
Ooh,
yeah,
bad day. Nice. All right.
So
Very
we made it
as
up
expected.
and down as expected. I mean, this is a fabulous little package for this intended use case.
I think, there's the argument of Wrangler versus Bronco is going to continue forever, and both are compromised. Neither one is perfect. It's really going to come down to which compromises are people willing to accept.
Right.
If you're a solid front axle person through and through, then yeah, you're going to have to just deal with a car that doesn't drive great on the road.
Hey, we have found another camera. So yeah, I think this. If you are really honest about your uses, right? For me, the Bronco drives substantially nicer than the Wrangler on tarmac. That's because of the rack and pinion steering and the extra power and torque you get with this engine. Granted, we haven't driven a 392.
Right.
Off-roading, I think it's kind of a wash. I mean, I'm not good enough at off-roading to say this is better or worse than the other.
And neither am I. What I've seen though is that there are people that compete at the high level of King of Hammers, and some run solid front axle and some run IFS.
Right.
So it seems like that argument is getting louder, but there are people that win with both. That's up to the experts to decide or to argue about. We don't really know, but you can do a lot with either vehicle.
Yeah, and this thing has, even at this sort of mid-level of equipment, almost everything that you could conceivably say that you need. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe you want bigger tires, or maybe you want the Bilstien shocks, or maybe you want the disconnecting sway bar, but for the majority of use cases on and off-road, this has everything for $51,000.
Yeah. I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So this is great. We had a lot of fun doing this. Thanks to Ford for letting us have a go in this. I'd love to try, a four-door with big tires at some point, maybe when that happens. And good job, Zach.
Yeah.
We made it. We made it up and down. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app, available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.